Welcome to episode 8 of the motor build and the battery pack build. As you can see, I've done some changes to my setup because I need to start to put the motor controllers and everything up here. I've also worked on some random smaller parts which I'm going to go through, yeah, let's take it from there. The first thing I've done is I've created a couple of, actually 4 Delrin washers for the vibration mounts, as these mounts will be sitting on an aluminium base and they're in stainless steel. So when I did the drawings for the motor build, I also incorporated a 2mm Delrin kind of layer between both of them. So we have these 4, so I'll probably won't put them on now because it's pointless, because it's on a wood base, so we'll just leave that here. The second thing I've done is created some stainless steel spaces that will go between the bearing on the inside and the actual mounting plate. And the reason for that is that these bearings aren't stainless steel, so the way to kind of protect them in the marine environment is to completely cover them with grease, and this plate will then kind of act as a little bit of a membrane to keep that grease staying on the actual bearing. On the same topic, when I did the actual mount, I made sure I added some extra M6 bolt holes, and that is for a bearing cover that I've designed that will go on the inside. You can see I ran out of black when I printed this, so I had to use some green. So I'm actually printing 2 new of these in black right now to make it a little bit prettier. So what this will do is that it will cover the bearing on the inside, so I can cover the whole bearing in grease, put a lid on, and on both of those pieces I might even set a little bit of cloth or something on the inside to completely seal it. So I'm not sure if we can see now just quickly where this would go. So it should fit on here. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if I can get a better picture of it. But yeah, the idea is that it should then cover the whole inside. I've also got a piece of rubber mat, so I will put a little bit of a seal on the inside. I've also created a little bit of a junction box which will be sitting here, so the cables from the BMS and from the balancer aren't long enough to cover all of these points. So instead I will go into this junction box here with the I think it's 30 cables in total, and then I will create some new cables that then will go out to all the connection points that they need to go. So the junction box will be sitting here. So what I've done is I've created a little cradle, and also so I can mount it to the battery plate. And right now I'm epoxying the actual connection points to this cradle, so that it won't fall off basically. So probably have to wait for a couple of hours for this to set. It's kind of a slow curing epoxy. Another thing that I've done since the last episode is that I've finalized the battery cells lids that is needed to connect the 18650s to the bus bars. So the idea is to spot weld these little nickel strips to the 18650s, and then have a way to, so if we put this on, so that nickel strip will come up to this one, and I will be putting some heat resistant tape first, will go all along here, so there is no connection between the nickel strip and the plastic. And the copper bus bar will be going in here, and then I need to probably solder it to the bus bar this way. And once that's been done, I will then put this lid on, which fits like this, and you can see it like that, and actually are pressed straight in. These little holes here is to be able to put a plastic tie band that comes up and down on the other side, and then will kind of hold the package together. So I'll probably put one in the front and one in the back, and because my printer isn't big enough, I had to print them in two parts. So there will be one there and one there and one there, and then that then goes on to the actual battery pack, and they should be narrow enough so that I can have obviously one on top and one on bottom, and yeah, I still have clearance. So that's the part. So what's left to do after that is to just make sure that the copper bus bar is going from the end here down to its connection point, and that will be an interesting one because I have not really worked out the best way to do that. So if you have any ideas, feel free to let me know. So there's nothing wrong with this one, it's just that it looks a bit funny, so I have printed another two of these. So here you can see the tree support that you get when you print something with an overhang. So I just need to break that off and prepare these two. As we're getting closer to complete the battery pack, I thought also get the easy controller motor controllers up on the wall so that I can connect them. This is just a temporary setup because I don't know the exact measurements of where I'm going to put this on the boat. So I just want to make sure that all the components work as they should, and then I will make a final resting place for all these parts once I know exactly where to put them on the boat. So let's see what we get when we order this from Golden Motors. Comes well packed. We have a set of connections, accessories. So put those away. Then we have the actual motor controller itself. That looks like this. So this is the aluminium cooler plate that it sits on. I don't think the first version of this came with a cooler plate, but they've added one as a standard now, which is good. And they have very kindly color coordinated all these contacts so they match up with the colors of the cables coming from the motors themselves. So because I have two motors, I need two of these controllers, and those two controls will then be controlled by one throttle. That's the theory anyway, so we'll see how that works. So this is the liquid cooled B48/1000. So a little recap on what I've done today. I have assembled one of the battery cells with the top and the bottom lid, just to make sure that it works as intended with the plastic tie bands, and it works great. Luckily the scooter pack has a groove here, and that's the groove I've been working with when I've done the little holes for the tie bands, so that it's not going to be in the way for when it sits against the plate. So that works very well. I also checked that there is enough space for the next pack, and I don't know if you can see it, but just with eyesight I can see that even though the second pack will have a top and bottom lid, it will be enough space there. So now I just need to figure out how to make sure that the bus bar that's going to go through here connects to the actual connection bridge points. So that's the next part. I've also added these connect points so that I can connect these 15 wires from the balancer and from the battery management system to these points here. And the idea is that I'm going to put, for example, number 1 positive from both of these into one side, and then take the positive out to the actual point where it needs to connect. I can't see any problems with connecting both of them on one side because they're going to go to the same point anyway. But if anyone would recommend me not doing it, please let me know. So what I'm going to do is connect both the balancer wire and the BMS wire to one point, and then from that point to the point where it needs to go on the actual battery frame. So I've also printed these these lids for the bearings, and I have created a couple of these 1mm rubber seals just to kind of make it a little bit tighter. I'm still waiting for the M6 stainless steel bolts for this, so I have not put it on the actual motor housing itself. What else? I've put up the two motor controllers, so I can start to look at connecting those. What I did notice was that these screws have started to rust. It's a bit not I wouldn't say it's a wet environment, but it is a body lorry work unit, so it's not completely dry in here, but that's a bit worrying, as obviously it's going to be in a marine environment. So I am going to see if I can find 24 of these in stainless steel instead, take them off and then replace them with some Sikaflex, just to play it safe and to not have to worry about it. So I think that is a good roundup. As I said, I've created these, but I'm not going to put them on today, and also I'm not going to put these on today either, because it's I'm waiting on some thin spaces. There's a slight tiny misalignment when the propeller shaft goes in, or the shaft. So I just want to put some thin spaces to make sure that I have no friction whatsoever between the two bearings. So when I get those, I can then put that in as well. So yeah, I think that's it for today. I'll just tidy up here and call it quits. Thank you for watching episode 8. If you were new to this channel, you can see the first episode up here somewhere. And if you want to see more, feel free to subscribe. If you've seen anything here that is looks a bit scary and you want to give me some feedback, in the sense of we're working with electricity and I am new to this, so you might see something that is like, hey, you know, you might not want to do that, or there's a better way to do it, please give me some feedback. And big thank you to all the people that subscribed. It seems to be a big interest in stuff like this, because it's gone up to almost 500 subscribers, which I'm super grateful for. And once more, a big thank you to Myran, which has helped me with all these 3D parts that I'm printing. His knowledge and help is amazing. So yeah, I'll see you next time.